Hey, 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 hey. Y'all hate that shit. Nigga be acting like you gonna freestyle and say hey 10 times. Hey, hey, what is up? What is up? Yes, I made it back. We are black. We are back. God damn. What is going on? What is going on? Hey, hey, hey. Turn this clown ass shit down. Man, what is going on? What is going on? This is the No I Don't Know TV series podcast. Hey, shout out to Nuke. I want to say what's up to Nuke. I know she been real super busy. She been handling a lot of shit, y'all. She been super busy. So, hey, man, much love and respect. Shout out to her. But anyway, man, hey, you know, another long ass day at the court plantation. God damn, nigga, just get, that's like, God damn. So you gonna, Massa, you really gonna work me all day, Massa? Type shit. But that's the way it is, man. You gotta pay the bills. Shit. Can't go panhandle. You can only panhandle when you white. When you black, you ain't panhandling. Cause they ain't giving you shit. They gonna tell you take your bitch ass down there to the shade tree. But anyway, you know, shit. Y'all already know how it is, man. This is another day, another 10 cents for niggas, and another $1.50 for white people. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on out there. God damn, man. See, that's why you gotta go look for certain shit. Cause boy, motherfucker, this media ain't shit. But anyway, man, another day, another 10 cents for us. And I guess if that's what you want to say. But man, while I'm here, thought I'd hit y'all with something real quick. Hey, I was looking at this shit, which I had a feeling was gonna happen. But Alexandria Ocasio, Casio, whatever her name, Casio, Cortez, whatever. These two officers, they made some comments about the bitch. About the female, whatever you want to call her. They made some comments about her. They gets fired. Right off jump. Fired. But we got Daniel Pantaleo, or whatever his name is, the Italian, who's still working for the NYPD. And he killed someone on video. He's still working there. And all these dominant society officers did was just make a comment. Now, this is the thing. Y'all might as well just let those police officers keep their jobs if they ain't even kill nobody. But that's what lets y'all know that this should let it be known to everybody in this United States of America Incorporated that nigga life ain't shit. They don't give a fuck. They'll put $5 million on it. That's it. Them niggas said boo to that broad. Up, fired. Fired. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know what's going on. See, these are the things that we have to look at in this system of white supremacy and racism. As our brother Neely Fuller Jr. teaches us, you know, you just got to start asking questions. Don't argue, don't debate with people, just ask questions. You know, because in racism, system of white supremacy, in that book, it basically teaches us that, you know, you have to ask questions and you have to ask constructive questions. So you can get a better understanding and clarity on what's going on because they dominate the 9 areas of activity. You know what I mean? We all know that. If you read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers, if you read Neely Fuller Jr.'s book, you know, if you read these books, man, it's going to teach you exactly what you need to know. You know, I suggest everybody go read this book, Compensatory Counter-Racist Code. Go read this book, man. It's a great book. I talk about it every week, every day, every time I do a podcast. It's going to teach you what you need to know. And there's a reason why these type of books are out. We got to read them, study them, and know exactly what it's about. And we got to use that in our everyday life. And the reason why I tell you, you know, to go read these books is because, man, it helps me. Just reading the book, kind of studying, seeing what's going on, you know, then you kind of watch things. And I like what he says, too. Ask questions. Don't argue. Don't have statements. Just ask questions. If you don't like something, just say, oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable. Or no, I don't know what's going on with that. Because when I see 2 officers get fired for comments, but Daniel Pantaleo is still working at the NYPD Blue. Yes, the NYPD Blue, you know, the Blue Lives Matter policy that Obama signed to office. He's still working there because he's protected not just by the Fraternal Order Police. He's protected because of the color of his skin. That's why we have to understand what it is. You have to dissect racism, white supremacy, and understand what's going on, and not just go around being accusatory. That's why you got to say suspected white supremacists. Can't just be accusatory towards people and then think that, oh yeah, you got to watch what they do, not what they say. Racism and the system of white supremacy likes confusion. They like chaos. That's why you always hear me talk about racial showcasing confusion. That's what really got my eye, it really got my attention when I read that in this book. I can't even remember the chapter, but I was like, damn, that's some real shit, because they'll just give out the trinkets to certain individuals, and then that's where they'll place the bar of success with that person. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because when you look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's always speaking on this Latino movement, but she should be, because that's in alignment with the system of racism and white supremacy is pushing. They're pushing that agenda. If you read Powernomics, page 192, either page 192 or 197 in Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson clearly breaks down how the Latino community, the Hispanics, is going to replace melanated people in office and everything. They're going to, and they have been allowed to have businesses and things like that. And let me just tell you this, we got to wake up and stop thinking somebody going to give you something. Put your trust in no man. Whatever goals, dreams, ambitions you have to achieve them. You got to speak it into fruition and make them happen. You cannot expect people to champion your goals and your dreams and what you want to do. And you can't be expecting the same treatment for us that they treat the dominant society. Because these 2 officers being fired, trust me, they'll go find another job. If Darren Wilson found another job somewhere else and Daniel Pantaleo is still working for NYPD, then these 2 Caucasian officers will find a job as well. We just got to understand why. Because think about it. Darren Wilson said, I was afraid for my life. You know what I mean? You know what's so funny? Darren Wilson said he was afraid for his life, but Mohammed Noor said he was afraid for his life, and they locked this black ass up. Oh, sorry, you're a nigger. Go to jail. Guilty, nigga. Fuck out of here. And it's like, when I see these things, it's like, but you'll still see melanated people. And I say melanated because I try to get away from the term black, even though you got to use it in civil terms. Black people will still run behind Alexandria or Ocasio-Cortez like she's for us. She was talking about the Hispanics. They need reparations and all. If I'm not mistaken, it's like, you think they... Look, let me tell you this. Everybody that is in the United States of America Incorporated that are not indigenous and aboriginals to this landmass, you are immigrants and are here getting unearned benefits. And I don't care how much it offends you and what it is. If you know your history, we can talk about it. And I'm more than welcome not to debate, but to talk. Because I'm not going to sit up here and argue and try to convince a fool against his will. That's not what I do. But I would love to ask the question for all my Latino brothers and sisters and my Arab brothers and sisters and everyone else. Who was in the United States of America Incorporated first? That's the question. We always want to say the Native Americans. But if you read They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima, facts clearly states Africans were here first. That's what happens when you listen to... See, this was so funny. They like to parade Christopher Columbus around us all day, every day, and Columbus Day, and Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, first of all, his name was Cristobal Colon. That was his real name, not Christopher Columbus, some clown shit that they told you what his name was. Second of all, He had a journal that he was writing in with his clown ass, and he clearly was talking about how Moors, he had to get Moors to navigate over here because he didn't know where he was going. Because when he tried to come over here by himself, he got lost. He didn't know where he was at. But see, they have us under this impression that, Christopher Columbus discovered America and all those other things. So with that being said, that debunks the theory that the Native Americans, the Cherokees, and they just love to give them, their props, like they were here first and the white people came, the Pilgrims came and settled, and then they, they did all those horrific things to the Indians. Some of those things, but some of those things they were giving Indians trinkets to catch melanated people and take them back to slavery. This is what they don't tell you in history. And that the Native Americans, the so-called Indians, they were getting trinkets and they got reservations and casinos and all these things put in place so they would never link up with melanated people and claim this landmass. Because if you knew anything about any history, you would know that the dominant society are trustees over this land. They don't own the land. They're trustees over it. All this little words, the words and the trickery and all that, that's what they do. So we have to understand exactly what it is we're looking at and what's going on. Like our brother Neely Fuller Jr. always says, if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, then everything else you do outside of that will confuse you. And it damn for sure confused me. Look, I couldn't even say confused. I was confused. Sound like a damn clown, I'm telling you. Man, when I read this, I was like, oh, so you gonna fire these two officers. But Darren Wilson, all these other officers, they still walking around. Damn, Walter Scott, luckily somebody got him on video, or that dominant society Caucasian Pilgrim will be walking around to this day still arresting people. Even with a video. And then I guess one officer, I forgot what I was reading, where one officer, he was manipulating the video footage. Was straight manipulating the shit so you couldn't even really see what was going on. And not these two officers in Louisiana, but I forgot where else it was. They was manipulating. Come on, man, it's camera footage. No, like I said before, it should be camera footage that the people and the citizens in that area have a live feed to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you can't manipulate, period. And that the people of that community are the people that get the live stream. So whatever there's a police presence, those people in that society or in that zip code or that area, they can view the feed. Then there would be more accountability based off whatever laws are created for these police officers. See, I get it. Melanated people, we don't like to do a lot of constructive stuff. We want to get together and bitch and complain and not come up with a plan. I want to talk about abstract things, but then you also want to have a plan about what it is. He's like, oh, Warren, you always talking about this is what's going on. Okay, here's my plan. If you're going to get together with people, make it constructive. As Neely Fuller teaches. If it's not constructive work, excuse me, if it's not constructive work, you don't need to get together with people. You're just sitting around wasting your time. If you're going to sit down and chop it up with people, it needs to be constructive based off a formula of what you plan on doing. If somebody's like, hey, man, how you be, you say you into stock. And they like, now when you get together with this person, don't just sit around and talk about hoes and shit and bitches you trying to fuck and you trying to holler. Like, that's not constructive. You can do that later because time is of the essence and time is very important. And you can't buy back time. So if you're going to get together with your fellow brother, sister, or anybody that's on the same vibration as you, you shouldn't be sitting around wasting time. Conversation on the phone. If you're having a conversation on the phone, if it's not constructive, you shouldn't have these conversations. It's just wasting time and it's draining your energy. You need your energy to make it throughout the day. These are the things that I look at every day. That's why if you put out that energy of trying to magnetize people that's on the same vibration as you, when you get those people around, just make it constructive. And then you can come up with different ideas of how you want to implement certain things. So you can, hey, go to your local councilman or commissioner or whoever it is or alderman and say, hey, man, we want to do this. We want to do that. Stop just putting it in the hands of your parents. Stop putting it in the hands of other people that pay attention. And stop thinking that that's weirdo shit. We have this mentality like, oh, if you read a little bit and you kind of into like laws and stuff, oh, he a weirdo. Yeah, but these same laws could affect you. So it's like, man, we got to think outside the box. Not just one person. Stop looking at one person to be the leader. It should be a movement. See, when you start having a leader, that means when that leader is gone, the movement is gone. But when you have a whole bunch of people that's on the same vibration, then you don't know what the leader is. You know, hey, man, shout out to the homie Branty, man. Branty, the young little prophet, man. I had a great conversation with him. I mean, man, every day is a school day. He was learning. He really was just, he had some amazing concepts for his age. And I was like, man, I just let him go. I just asked him a couple questions and he just was giving me his perspective. So shout out to my nigga. That's my nigga right there. I've known him for a long time. So shout out to that nigga Branty, man. What's happening with you? But hey, these are the things that we got to know about. When you see that these 2 police officers get fired just for saying something on social media, that should tell you. That should tell you the power of the dominant society. But when they don't want a motherfucker, oh, well, we can fire you. We can fire you for words, but we can't fire you for killing someone. That's right, because he was melanated. So why fire a person that's melanated? Why would you do that? Because that doesn't make any sense. See, these are the questions you got to ask. You always start off a conversation with asking a question. So what are we here for? What are we doing? What's going on? What's your goal? What are you trying to do? You know, what's your goal? What are we trying to accomplish here? You know, because if you're not trying to accomplish anything, there is no reason for you or me to be sitting down here having this conversation. So I'll tell you this. Time is of the essence. We need to take these books, grasp the knowledge, understand what's going on, and then what we need to do is come up with a plan. And you get with people that's in your community and people that's on your page. I mean, on the same page as you, same vibration as you. Y'all come up with your ideas and y'all move forward. Don't involve everybody in your plan because everybody is not thinking the same way. Don't tell everybody what you got going on because, you know, we have been conditioned as melanated people in this society to destroy one another and view each other as competition. When if you read Black Labor, White Wealth or Powernomics, it's the competition of resources. We are in competition with other races. So if there's other races, especially people part of the dominant society that you might date or you might talk to, whatever advice they're giving you to better your people, listen to it. Don't just sit, you don't know. No, listen sometimes. If it's constructive advice, but if it's negative bullshit that you feel like they're just downing your race and trying to make fun, nah, you don't have to listen to that. And the reason why you don't have to listen to that, because that's not constructive and you're wasting time. Even when you go on your employment, the corporate plantation. When you go on the corporate plantation, stop going in there running your mouth about things that's just running you around in circles. I had to learn that. You know, because a lot of times when you laughing and joking and you talking, they put you in that box, and especially when you melanated, they think you're supposed to stay there. And once you become an introverted person and you're more of a thinker and a strategist, they don't like that because they don't know what you're thinking. They want you to come with all your emotions and everything that's going on. And that's not what melanated people's mission is in fighting racism, white supremacy. You got to be thinking, some people are, oh man, we all slaves and all that. Yeah, we're all slaves. You're right. The birth certificates and sovereignty and all that. You're right. We're all slaves. But let me tell you this. Melanated people are the worst slaves. We've been the worst and biggest slaves for the last 450 years. Jim Crow, segregation, slavery, semi-slavery, redlining, Gentrification. What else? What else do I need to say? And if you read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing or you read Neely Fuller Jr., they dominate 9 areas of activity. The dominant society, they dominate 9 areas of these activities. You know what these activities are? I say it all the time. These activities are labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, education, economics, and I'm forgetting one. And I think it's sex. I don't know if I said sex already, but I got 8. I always be forgetting the last one. And I think labor, one of those. But in entertainment, but I think it's entertainment. I forgot, but they dominate 9 areas. And I always say this. I'll just start with religion. You know how they dominate religion? Just go in anybody's church and see who picture it is on their wall that they say is Jesus. Next, they dominate economics, time and energy. You have to go to work. Who you working for? Because you damn for sure ain't working for your people. So who you working for? You working for most corporations to make them wealthy. That's economics. What goes inside with labor? They dominate labor because they're in charge of where you work. I'm just saying. Entertainment. There's a book called How the Jews Invented Hollywood. That's the next book that I'm going to get. Y'all need to understand this. Even though being a Jew or being Jewish, that's a religion. It's not a race. But they're so powerful, they made it into a race. And we all accept it. Facts. These are just things that we all got to sit back and watch and pay attention to. If these officers got fired for comments that she shouldn't even be worried about. She's supposed to be, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is supposed to be establishing a system of justice. That's why I don't want to hear nothing about the minority. No, where is you? I want to hear this. I want to replace a system of racism, white supremacy, and establish a system of justice. And the people that are behind gets the most constructive help that they need. That's what we need to be working on. Everybody has their part to play. Some people, they educate. They're educators. Some people, they're knowledge seekers. I'm a knowledge seeker. I'm not an educator. I'm just telling you my perspective, and you don't have to agree with me, but I'm a knowledge seeker. I like to be around people that got different perspectives. I don't like people like, don't call me talking about no Trump shit and how racist he is and all that. Come on, man. This is what melanated people need. They need people like Trump. You know why? Because you need people that's going to tell you exactly how the dominant society feels and the things that they're saying when we're not around. Trump is just saying them to our face. So when you see these ICE raids and all that, that's not our fight. We have no dog in that fight. Those are horizontal issues, as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us. We need vertical, up. We don't need lateral movement. We always carrying somebody else's groceries instead of ours. And laying the foundation for other races but ours. And then they sit back and laugh at us when you go hard for them and not you. And then they laugh and speak in their own dialogue, whether they're Ethiopian. It doesn't matter who they are. They come here for unearned benefits and they look at us like we crazy. And then they side with the dominant society and laugh and make jokes about us as they're getting their restaurants and they're getting their businesses. And then you look around, if you live in Las Vegas, Nevada, where are the black businesses at? And if they are, they're hidden. But they're not on the main street of Martin Luther King and Lake Mead. Those are all major corporations. These are things that we got to understand, man. But hey, man, it's been fun. It's been real. I appreciate everybody listening. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Subscribe button. Hey, man, you got any books you want me to read, man? Leave them in the comments. I'm all good with that, man. Leave the comments. I appreciate it, man. Man, I got to go. I got so much shit I got to take care of and handle. Shit, I'm out, y'all. Peace.